Agile Learning Centres are a schooling model built and adapted to meet the needs of children in the 21st century. Within ALC, we believe that the days of having children sit down and have a thought out curriculum that is rigid, non spontaneous, and spoon fed to them is not the most appropriate way for our young learners to thrive. Instead, we believe that self directed learning is an awesome way to empower decision making every day of the school life. Having children and our learners feel like they are heard, listened to, like their passions are being nurtured, and that they are able to thrive within their strengths, gifts, and talents for the benefit of all. So, for example, our children and learners at the moment, they love learning about sea creatures. Great, let's be spontaneous, let's relate to that. Let's find out how we can actually look at these sea creatures while they're interested, rather than saying, no, today we're going to look at the Great Pyramids. But what if they don't want to look at the Great Pyramids, which often children don't? It leads to boredom within the classroom. Within our ALC culture, we don't really see a lot of boredom. We see enthusiasm, we see fun, we see enjoyment, and we see spontaneity.
So Agile Learning Centres are often described using the metaphor of a tree, and the soil of the tree is trust. So trust in ourselves, trust in each other, and trust in the children. And then the roots are learning. So learning is just happening all the time. Then self-direction. So when people choose and make their own decisions, they learn best, and children are people. Then experience. So we believe that the culture in which children learn and their environment is most important. And then success. So success is achieved by these cycles of setting intentions, creation, reflection, and then sharing. So those are the roots, and then the trunk of the tree is seen as the community, and we feel this is a really beautiful aspect of ALC because each community is different and has their own needs and their own wishes, and so it can really be tailored to the community in which the children are learning.
ALC offers a really safe and clear structure in which our learners are able to thrive each day. We begin every day at 9:30 with a really lovely transition, which is crafts. I set the whole room out different day with different craft activities. It could be building things, it could be playing with materials, painting, drawings, whatever crafts we feel will benefit the children in having a lovely transition into the school day. If they come and they don't feel like doing any craft activities and actually they just want to relax and rest on the sofa for half an hour, that's perfect. We need to give them that time and to recognise that not every learner comes into the classroom ready to start at 9:30. At 10 o'clock each day, we always come together and we set intentions. During the transition period, I ask the children and learners just to have a little moment, a good half an hour, to just think about what they really want to get out of the day. At 10 o'clock, we come together, we write things onto our intentions board, and then to celebrate the culture of setting intentions, we light a candle because I love ritual. The children have really grown to love ritual, and we can all have a turn each day of lighting that intentions candle, and to really mark that moment as something that's actually quite special and enjoyable. Then at 2:30 each day, the rhythm is always the same. We have 10 minutes of quiet time. During this time, I encourage all of the children and learners to find their own space within the learning space, where I use the words autonomy and enjoying our own time to just relax in whatever way we see is most beneficial to our needs. That can be to just rest our head on a cushion or to do some drawing. It can be reading a book, whatever we need to, but we have super silence for the benefit of all. Then we come together, we read another story to finish off our day, and we then have a look. Did we manage our intentions for today? Did we manage to do what we set out to do? And we can have a conversation around that and really reflect and share on where the learning is, because the learning isn't about the product of I want to do a painting and so I did it, great. It's all about sharing. Well, if I didn't manage that, why did I not manage that? And if I did manage that, why did I manage that? And this is really special, and as we've gotten used to setting intentions, it just becomes so clear that there is a lot of learning and a lot of benefit coming from this. So here we have our offerings board, and any member of our community can make an offering at any point, whether it is me the teacher, any of our learners, any members of the community, such as parents or friends of parents, childminders. And some examples that we have here on the board are play the mummy horse game, which our children just spontaneously did one day after we seen some horses in a field. And this is a very, very lovely game where they become a herd of horses. Another one may be to paint the Wendy house, play with watercolours, do some body painting, have a story time, learn everything about computers was another one, which is amazing. They're all amazing. Making slime, learning about plants and animals. And this is really, really fun because once we have an offering, we know that I know as a facilitator, as a teacher, where I can go with this. I know how I can start thinking about the rhythm of the weeks coming up and how I can really start adapting and making flexible session plans that really meet the needs of the learners. We're at this really exciting crossroad at the moment where two of our learners have shown a real enthusiasm for wanting to learn to read. Two of our learners who are younger in our mixed age classroom aren't quite at that stage yet, so this is perfect. Now we can start thinking about how we can develop in these crucial learning skills and early learning in reading, and how we can now apply that to our weekly structure while some of our younger ones continue playing and having a lot more of the craft activities and using their hands, which is so beneficial for them. A huge part of the ethos that we're developing at the school is wanting to contribute to service, to family, friends and community, and so we bring that into everyday life at the school. Here we have our SEVs board, and we have each child will have designated roles to helping with the tidying up of the space each day. They will do this from Monday to Thursday in a given week, and then the following week we will mix around those service roles to keep it fresh and dynamic and lively. I was able to listen to the children and find out what they most enjoyed doing during the tidy up, and that was how we started. It's now just gone on a natural ease and flow since there, where everybody is happy to contribute, and how tidying up time now takes no real time at all. One of the things I've most enjoyed about implementing the different management tools of ALC into everyday practice is just seeing how direct this approach is at creating results within our community, especially when it comes to intention, that culture of intention setting. And so what we have here is our community mastery board, and at any point throughout our day, a child or me, the teacher, I can see an awareness, we can create an awareness and we can pop it on our board. Then at spontaneous moments throughout the week, whenever we feel it's appropriate, we have what is called a change-up meeting. We look at our awarenesses and then we say, now let's create solutions. We are creating a culture of solution orientation for the benefit of all. So what was one of our awarenesses? One of our awarenesses is that two of our boys loved to whisper to one another. And you know the way children are, not only would they whisper to one another, but they would whisper and look at the people who they weren't whispering to. So we popped this on an awareness. We, looked at conflict management within that situation. And then at our next change-up meeting, we put the awareness, whispering makes others feel left out. Right, children and learners, what's our solution? One child was able to put their hand up, in fact two of them, because two of them would feel not included, and they said, our solution, which we are going to put into the trying section, is let's stop whispering. So this was great. This is what we're trying. Every time children and learners started whispering to one another, I could say, hey children and learners, let's remember, we're trying not whispering. And not only could I then say that to them, but the children then were able to start managing conflict within themselves. They could say, oh, remember, we're not whispering. So after a few weeks, we were able then to say, not only are we trying this, but this is now our practice. We have become quite skilled in not whispering to each other and making other people feel left out. We're now practicing this. Another learner at the next change-up meeting said, James, can we please add except for in the hallway? Because when we're in the hallway, we use our whispering voices that we do not disturb the other members of our community who live here. Then, after a couple of weeks of being in the practicing section, we were able to achieve and celebrate that we are now masters. It moves from the practice section of our board to the mastery section. There was no more whispering within our learning space. The children and learners were able to regulate themselves, have really clear conversations, about this, and we got all the way to mastering because it just was not an issue anymore. There was real culture of solution orientation and setting that intention that we were going to create a really inclusive space where everyone's needs are met. And so this is amazing. In just a few weeks, instead of saying don't whisper, don't whisper, don't whisper, we have a rule about not whispering, and this being put down to the children in a top-down authoritarian, quite disempowering way. We were able to open up the space, and the children were really able to offer this solution for the benefit of all. So here we have one of our intentions boards, and this belongs to one of our young super learners called Willow, and she had a number of intentions throughout the week which she set, and which she managed to move from the to-do section into the done section. One of these was that on Monday she knew that we were going to do our morning wake up in Mina Row Park and set the intention of I want to play British Bulldog. She asked me how she would spell this. I helped her, we popped it on the board. At the end of the day when we reflected, done. Now I can share this achievement with everybody. Another one was to go to the beach. This is a little bit of a given that we were going to go to the beach, though no intention is right or wrong. It's about creating that culture of how to set an intention and how to follow it through. Here there was a drawing, and this drawing is actually of a painting that Willow was doing. This was in her doing section, which is the middle part of our board. For over a week, Willow is one of our older children and just really understood the concept of setting intentions and how to do it, and was quite happy for that to be in doing, really understanding and enjoying the process of I'm going to make a great painting. Also in her doing section, something she hasn't done yet is to read all of the books. Just yesterday I brought in, I believe it was 6 new books to the school. I created a shrine, an altar in the middle. It was the summer solstice, so kind of really getting into that theme, and I offered the books around there, and she set this intention. We were able to have a really great conversation about, well, why didn't you manage to read all of the books? She said, well, I read 2 of the books, but there was a lot of books to try and read in one day. So now we're learning about setting intentions that we can actually manage. So, things that are actually doable or not doable, but also so comfortable and satisfied to have in doing. I can read the rest of the books another day, and I will support her in doing that.
The reason I like Blue Sky School is because we get to choose what we do every day.